In my opinion, multiplying and dividing rational expressions is significantly easier than adding and subtracting them. The rules are just like the rules from fractions, where if you are multiplying fractions, you just multiply straight across. And if you're dividing, first you have to do the reciprocal, turn it to multiplication, and then you can multiply across. One thing we also want to remember is that we need to reduce. So if we can reduce them, we will. So multiply straight across, you'll get 20x to the third divided by, I'm going to leave this separated. I'm not going to distribute because I want to think ahead about canceling. 2 and 20 cancel and leave a 10. And the x to the thirds cancel completely. So I just have 10 over x plus 1 as my answer. Now, you want to keep in mind that there could be excluded values. So the excluded value for this fraction would be 0, and the excluded value for this fraction would be -1. So just be mindful of that. And let's check out letter B. Multiply straight across. I get h times h squared plus 5h plus 6, and then h plus 2 and h squared. So I can definitely cancel one of the h's with this h up top, but if you look, this is a trinomial. And so there's usually like a hint, because if there's a binomial on one end and a trinomial on the other, chances are, but not always, chances are that this binomial is a factor of this trinomial. So when you factor the trinomial, you get h plus 2, h plus 3, and then h plus 2 and h bring down on the bottom. So you see, now you can see that they cancel. If you didn't factor, you wouldn't catch this canceling right here. So you always want to factor anything you can. You just factor. Go factor crazy. So the final answer is h plus 3 over h. And just to have a conversation about it, the excluded value here would be -2, and the excluded value here would be 0. Try example 2 on your own. Be careful, don't forget to flip when you have to divide. And speaking of dividing, let's check out example 3. This will be our last one together. I'm going to initially just cut to the chase and factor this trinomial. -3 plus 2. And this has to flip. So let's do the reciprocal. And I'm going to cut to the chase and factor that one as well. So I'm doing a whole lot in one step. And usually, you get told not to do that. But at this point, when you're in chapter 11 and you're doing rational expressions, you should be able to factor all the way back from chapter 7 in the first try. So I can cancel before I combine. The p plus 2 on the top cancels the p plus 2 on the bottom. And it doesn't look like there's anything else. So that's our final answer. We have p minus 3 times 1, obviously, but that's really nothing. And then p plus 1 and p minus 2 on the bottom. If you have any questions, write them down and ask me when you see me in class.